What's up, guys? You're here with the High Five Podcast. I'm Jason. I have Christopher Florendo, Will Blazeski, and our special guest, Marcio Barbosa, with us today. So, Marcio, we have the Arnold coming up. We have a lot of things happening in arm wrestling right now. In terms of this present Arnold prep, is there anything you're doing that's specific? Anything you're doing that's different? If there's no no secrets, nothing hidden. No. If you can kind of let some of our followers, some of our subscribers know what do you do, and possibly if this is a different preparation than past.
No, hi guys. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure. No, nothing special. I started working out again. When I say working out, it's training, including in lifting and practicing and everything else. 3 months ago, I had a long break because of injury and just back training, and then this is gonna be my first competition in a year, in about almost like a year, not a year, but like 9 months, I think.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit since the last match. But you said you were injured during that last match.
Yeah, I got injured. I was not 100% when I went to Dubai, so I was doing therapy, and then things got worse, and I decided to just take a break, let things heal, and to go back 100%.
Okay, just so people know, I don't know if some people that maybe didn't see the match or aren't 100% sure, just what was the injury specifically, and how are you feeling now?
It's basically in the elbow. I had some problems with the elbow. There was a time that I couldn't move my elbow after a match, and I've been too long in the sport. Almost 30 years, and I have all types of injury, so I'm carrying all of them. I just can't just compete one tough competition, and next month another one. And I'm an iron worker. I have a hard job too, so I have to take a little break in between.
Yeah, so I guess kind of like to that question also, especially because I feel like in recent years more of your preparation has been more for super matches, right? How would you feel your prep for a tournament would be different, because there's like a bunch of different people you don't know are going to be there?
I'm used to tournaments. I actually miss them. It's been more super matches lately, but I miss the tournaments. I like the Arnolds. I've been there a bunch of times, like 6-7 times, and I won 2 of them, and it's going to be nice to be back again.
Cool. That's amazing. What years, just again for people watching maybe who don't know, what years did you win?
I'm going to tell my participation first. Like, I started going to Arnold's, I think they're arm wrestling at the Arnold's since 2001. Since 2000. 2002, I participated for the first time. I probably were 4th or 5th place. 2003 3rd, then 2004 I won. I beat Travis in the final. 2005 he beat me, I took 2nd. Then I came back 2007, I didn't win, and then 2019, which is 4 years ago, and I won. And here we go again.
Nice. Very, very exciting. Very exciting, and also very glad to not share that weight class with you. Very, very, very glad to not share that weight class with you. Chris, did you have another question on there?
No, I was just going to say, so I think too, like, because we know that there's sometimes people saying that they're going to go to the competition, is there anyone specific that you're like looking out for that you want to compete against?
Well, I heard Michael Todd, Pavlo, and some other names at the 242 class. That's the class I'm going to compete. And I just heard recently, like today, this morning, that Michael Todd detached his bicep, so he's not going to be there. Pablo just competed the King of the Table yesterday, and he said he might be there, so I'm expecting him there. I'm not sure if he's going to make 242 though, because he weighed 260 there.
Yeah.
So, but you never know.
And it should be a great match. I think a lot of people on the internet I've been seeing want to see you pull Pablo, so I think that'd be an awesome match. And
hopefully he makes it.
Yeah, is that something kind of outside of a tournament you'd be interested in, to have like a super match with just him?
Now that he's getting to that level, yes. I pulled him like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I kind of beat him quick in both arms, and he seems to improve a lot. Yeah. Everybody's taking the base and how he performed against Pauline. Mm-hmm. but I'm a different guy, and you know, it could be interesting. I mean, of course, he has the strength for sure. He's a strong guy.
Definitely.
I can now lift the weight that guy lift. You know, I can even do the one arm pull up.
Yeah, that was
But
insane.
you know, on a day it could be a different story. So, yes, he's one of the top guys under that weight, and yeah, I'll be in a super match in the near future.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, hopefully we can help with something like that.
Cool. Yeah.
So Marcio, is there any like dream match that you're looking to have? Let's say in the next year. You know, you're finally getting back to training. You're feeling good again. Thank God you're in the 242. But if there's one person that sticks out in your mind, because you know we've talked here, you know that obviously you've been an elite puller for all these years. You had a little bit of some injuries that are kind of holding you away from that top tier level. If you could just pick one person that just, you know, you get back in there and you stamp your name back on arm wrestling as like, I'm fucking here. Is there a name or anyone you're even just toying or thinking about pulling?
There's many. I mean, with all this East versus West competition that England Thursday is promoting, I think it's great for the sport. I think we should be, you know, grateful for what he's doing for the sport. I mean, there's classes. I mean, there's gonna be offers for me. I mean, Ongarbayev is one of those. I think I'll get there, and I'd like to pull Irakli again. Besides here, John Brozink and Todd Hutchings around my size would be a good match too.
Awesome.
Do you have any questions?
No, Chris.
Oh, no, I was gonna say. I mean, it's unfortunate because I feel like the match with Ongarbayev and John Brzenk, I feel like you're, in my opinion, definitely a better, like I guess, competitor just because of how explosive you are. I think John is right now. I think in the phase of his competing, he's more of like the hold, cash, and bleed the person. Where
Yeah.
now you're, I don't know how in the years that you've been competing, and even though you're getting older in the sport, are still crazy explosive. I think seeing that like just ignite on the table would be insane.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite tools, explosiveness, and I mean, as you get older, you get more, you know, technical too. Like sometimes things don't work so well, and you have to develop something else. But you know, it'd be a pleasure to pull John again. I want him to keep going. I don't want to pull him again. Right? I want him to keep going. I love to see him pulling because he's like an inspiration for all of us. 58, he's gonna be 59 in July, so it's incredible. I never see somebody competing at that level, at that age, so big example for all of us. Age is just a number for some people.
No, and I think you and all the top guys, like you, Devin, John, you proved that like this is what makes this sport very unique, where the peak isn't at when you're in your 20s or 30s. You could be in your 50s and your 40s and actually at the top of the sport, which is very unheard of. Yeah, and aside from John, I don't think people say it enough. I feel like you are also an inspiration to a lot of people. What you've done and putting America on the table.
Some people don't know how I'm gonna be 50 next month.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, you can't tell looking at you, but it's amazing. Like, I hope I can look like that when I'm 50, even like an eighth. Yeah. No, and I think one thing that needs to be said is, I think back in Arm Wars, I remember. Don Underwood was saying, he's like, you're kind of the gatekeeper of the like elite level, and I feel like a lot of people don't say that enough. Where you have had all these big wins too. Like I understand John is the GOAT, but you have also beaten all those people, and you're kind of still doing it now. So it's pretty impressive. You know, giving you your flowers.
Yeah. No, yeah, I have wins in all the major guys, like all the top guys. I have wins in them. Basically.
Very impressive.
I hate to go back just a hair. It pertains to what you and Chris were just talking about. But as much as I want to talk about what you've accomplished, and I don't think we have enough time to do that, one thing that kind of hit me, I'm not 50, but I'm not that far away, to be very honest with you. And something Chris said that I think really is a really big thing for arm wrestling, right, is that we are able to continue, and I think, to be honest with you, get better over time, right? Like everybody jokes around like old man strength and all of this other stuff, and you know, we find that with High Five, older members that come in just have more strength in the areas that arm wrestling uses, in the muscle groups and so forth, the joints that a lot of people use, and I think what is what has helped you tremendously in your career is exactly what you said before, that explosivity, that ability to still be really, really fast and be, you're a heavily muscled man. You know what I mean? You look amazing. There's no way that no one would believe you're 50. I mean, you're strong, you're lean, you have amazing technical ability. One of the few that I think can do just about anything they want on the table. But something for me, I don't know, maybe it's because I started when I was older, but for other people as well, is there a way to train, or a way you train rather, to be explosive? Because it's something I find to be so difficult, and I think it's something we have found is not the easiest thing to train new guys even how to be explosive. We're worried about safety and just how to do it. You know, you can be technical and just help people get stronger, but this is a very unique ability you have.
Yeah.
Is there a way that you do this, or a mindset, just anything you can kind of offer to help us get a little faster?
Man, it's interesting your question, because I carry with me since I started. It's just a mental thing. Like, it's just I think it's in you. Like, you can train for that, but some people, they have on them, like, it's they're explode, like they're so aggressive. Like, I'm always been aggressive. Like, when I go to, I'm the calmest guy, but when I go to that, I think it's the same sense of a fighter. They are more explosive. It's like maybe a genetic thing, but it's something as the first thing that you're just gonna want to destroy in the first second you have. It's just I think it's a unique thing. Some people have, some people don't, but you can train for that. I mean, there's ways. I used to train people with the rubber bands and stuff, like ready, go, ready, go, ready, go, like you know, showing them videos and stuff. But it's really finding your lane where you're not gonna be so loaded when you start. I mean, you see guys like Zaza is a good example, and I was like that when I was young, like super fast. Of course, you have to have a good hand, good cupping strength, you know, and loading at the point that you don't waste energy loading too much. You just be ready for the go and go straight to the pad. It's just you know, it's hard to train for that, but you can train for that.
I was going to say, I've noticed that. I have had the pleasure to pull Zaza probably twice in the couple of years that I've been doing this, and it's something that's always been difficult for me to train for, like I said, his speed, but also because he has such a light setup. You know,
exactly.
He's able to engage, just as I've seen you. Like, you don't. There are times that you're fighting for height. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, if you're pulling somebody, you know, like a Devin, for example, these guys have long levers. Sometimes you have to fight, but that explosivity doesn't seem to come from being 100% engaged on the table. Like you said, I find it difficult for me because I'm not that person, but I think you're right. I think some of it is just who you are.
Yeah, but there is a way to fight always against the quick, you know, top rollers. That's why Devin, the first time I pulled him, like, I think it was lefty when we pulled, I hit him hard and crush him. But then he found a way, because you have to load a little bit back. Okay. I mean, if somebody hits straight for the pad, you have to load them with the back pressure, like, to make them uncomfortable. Even in a grip, if you grip light as they grip, you're screwed. Like, if I want to go fast and somebody grab me super light and I can grab light, it's good. So there's ways to get around. I mean, when you go to, like, you know, professional elite, they all know what to do, and to cut that, you know, to stop that, or to do the same thing is just experience. I think you get used to. But if you want to be explosive, then you have to train for that, because if you're being born with that, you have to train for it.
I got one for you, Marcio. So it's actually great that you had mentioned that, because one of the things that both my coaches have said is that I have, like, some speed on the table now. When you're in a strap, how do you, like we just said, you don't want to load too much, like, in your hand. Like, the one thing I'm noticing is, like, when I pull Fed, when I'm, you know, our teammates and our captain, I get so tired when we're just in the setup, right? And now I almost feel like I'm with, like, a dead hand. Would you just wait till that last second? Because I feel like if I almost let them get a little more than I want, But if I'm fresher in my hand, like you said, I can just bang.
You gotta
So much.
You gotta make a ref grip.
Ref
You
grip.
gotta make it uncomfortable to get a grip or something. You gotta go to ref grip so you spend the last energy. Because if you're gonna hit hard, you have to spend less energy as possible and concentrate on the hit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything as one block. You know.
Sure.
So yeah, some people exactly because of that, if they know you quick, they're gonna try to waste you a little bit in the hand,
Yeah.
grab, regripping, pulling a little bit to get something in your forearm. You know, something in
So
your
it's
arm.
more of a,
So
you don't even play the game, and you're like, you just let them go to
it
reps.
depends if I'm comfortable.
Sure.
It's fine. You know, it depends. You can feel them too.
Mhm.
Like they try to take your speed, but you can also feel their arm when they do that.
Mhm.
If it's not strong enough, so you'll be like, well, no problem.
And then one other thing to
You
touch on,
adopt.
you were mentioning it prior about you get hyped up and all that type of stuff. When do you personally like? I was talking to Jay the other day. You know, normally I've only been pulling for a little over a year now, but when we had the qualifier here, I wasn't nervous at all. Now I'm like super nervous, and he's like, well, that's a good thing. So, but I'm the same way. When I turn it on, it's like blinders, and I just keep going. When do you turn it on? Is it like right when you're walking the table first time? Is it by the time you wake up you're already go? Or is there something in your head that you say where you're just like, it's go time?
I mean, for me, like right now, I'm very experienced, 30 years in the sport or more. You're just trying to spend to get focused like an hour before you're gonna pull. So you start getting concentrated. Of course, you like to see video. If you're pulling somebody in a specific person, you have to do your homework, you have to study and everything else. And then when you pull a tournament, you just try to see if you know the people that are pulling in your class, just to see what you're gonna do with them when you go there. And try not to be so nervous because you have to think about how to pull because every person is different when a tournament is different. So you have to just be focused when you go there to do what you gotta do with that person. And if you never see the person, you're just gonna go as you feel.
Sure.
You know.
Thank you.
In reference to the Arnold coming up, just because you've been in the sport so long, you've been there multiple times. You've won. You've done just so many things. With this coming up, is there any special preparation that anyone should be doing? Anything they should expect? Anything you're excited for?
From me even?
Yeah.
No, I'm going over there to win. It's my first tournament of the year. 100% in my mind I'm going to win.
Good.
So it doesn't happen, but my intention is to win.
I think you have to think that though, right? Like you kind of right.
Like I train for.
I mean,
I
think it's sometimes you.
Sometimes you go and you didn't train that well, you didn't separate time that well. So I'm like, even though when you go like that in your mind you can win, but when you train for, your capability, you just go for the goal. That's how I think.
Yeah, so I guess that's also a good question for a lot of guys on our team that are going for the first time back in, I don't know, you said 2000, 2001, your first time going. Do you have any advice for them being on this big stage and having all these people in the audience, how to manage those nerves or kind of prep for that?
Yeah, just have fun. I mean, it's the first time going to a big event like that. It's just embrace the atmosphere and just try to do your best. You train for, what you're capable for, and just try to be focused and to do your 100% best. Because over there is a quick tournament too. Like it's 2 hours on a Friday and then like another hour if you go to the finals on a Saturday. And it's very quick. They put like 4 or 5 tables there and then it goes like this.
No, definitely good advice.
Yeah.
Marcio, in this, now that you've had a couple of these injuries, lately, have you changed the way you approach your recovery? Like, have you been a big massage guy, or you just hydrate and maybe use a Theragun or something, or do you not do any of that stuff? Like, how has that evolved over the past couple of years?
Yeah, it depends. With the elbow, you have to be patient. There's few exercise. Besides ice, you do everything you can. Everything helps, I think, but sometimes maybe take a little break is better.
Sure.
As you get older, because you overuse for so long. So I think taking a break is a good thing too. You know.
I mean, I see now, we had touched earlier, when arm wrestlers are in their 40s, and then now even with John in his later 50s, we're really seeing this almost resurgence, and it's really interesting. I don't know if you've thought of or even contemplated this whole stem cell thing. It's like the biggest thing in arm wrestling now. It's like everyone's sponsored by a stem cell company, and Devin, you see him on the side of a road at a tournament getting stem cells done. Yeah, great video. But it's cool because I think we're going to start seeing resurgence of people coming back. I know Travis, I think, has gotten it done now, and he's like making his quote unquote comeback. So I hope you don't ever need them, but with that being said, you might be pulling until you're 70. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting.
Listen, I'll be looking this year at some point, because especially my lefty, my shoulder has been bothering me too. My elbow, it's too long, guys. It's a long road. So if you want to continue, it's something that you should consider it, and I'm considering. Just to check it out, read more about it, see results, looking at these people that, these athletes that already have it, to see how it works for them.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking.
That's why I was curious
Yeah.
because when we had seen Devin, it was right after Levon, right?
Yeah.
Like a month or so after.
Yeah, that's
And now he is swearing by that stuff, and it seems like he's coming back a lot stronger.
Yeah, but I think Devin, he dedicates his whole
Everything.
his whole time
Sure,
for arm
sure.
wrestling, and he's been arm wrestling for so long. He's been doing a lot of training, and I think his tendons is finally getting stronger. Maybe it wasn't time enough when he pulled Levon, but now it's probably the best period now.
Speaking of Levon, Jay, if you want to mention, we were watching King of the Table yesterday.
I did too.
Thoughts?
Oh, it was amazing event. I got home, I was doing something, and when I got home, it was right at the main event. Then I went back and watched John and Dennis, and also Sabian and Pablo. But yeah, my main reason was to watch the final, like the main event, and it was crazy. I was cheering for Hermes to do something. I was cheering for Hermes to be able to do something because, it's Levon is king, and I don't know until when, but it looks like until he wants to. But yesterday he was putting to his limits, I believe, because he's super heavy. I think it was 415 pounds.
Yeah.
It's too big for this thing, and I know at some point it's gonna need oxygen because he's so strong that he's been beating people quick. He didn't have to be pushed, to the limits. Like yesterday, when he went to endurance, you can see that he was done. It was some parts of the match where Hermes was bringing, like the fifth round, Levon was gonna lose that round regardless, right? His elbow went off, but he was passing center. It was like over here, almost like a few inches from the pin pad, and then the elbow foul. But he was not gonna win the next round, in my opinion. So they decided before 2. I think it was fair, right? If they have a contract to pull six rounds, and the reason they're not pulling is because of that, you have to give those 2 rounds. Even though he got pinned 2 rounds, but 4-2 seems fair. And it was awesome. I had no idea Hermes had that strong of an elbow, to hold that size of guy,
We were freaking out,
crazy.
like he's gonna break his arm. It was amazing.
His tendons, his elbow was really, really strong. I hope he keeps strong after that, because it was a lot of effort.
Sure.
He's a warrior. I like the guys that have that kind of heart, never give up. It's one of the most important things because, especially when you're saying the guys that I start, it's a lot of losses in the beginning. Until you finally, find a route, it's just, you learn. The most important thing is never give up and always believe in yourself. And I think Hermes did that yesterday. It was unbelievable from him. I think he's very happy with his performance because he said if I stop him, I would be happy. If I win 1 round, I'll be happy. If I win the match, I'll be super happy. So I think he did well.
Yeah, I agree.
And Levon's still king.
So have you ever noticed, like, so you're competing at 242?
Yes.
First question is, what's the heaviest you've ever been? And did you ever find that area of diminishing returns?
Yes, I've been heavier as 260, I believe, 258, 260. But I didn't, like, for me, it's like for me to be in shape, I have to be lighter. Like if I haven't need like what Levon needed yesterday, I'll be in trouble too. You know what I mean? Like your gas goes down quicker. I experienced something, like I saw Pablo against Sabin. I mean, he got salt. I think he put so much weight in a month or something. 18 pounds in a month, it's too much. And I experienced putting a lot of weight. When I pull WAL, for example, when I pull Matt Mask and when I pull Michael Todd, I put a lot of weight. I try to eat weight gainers. I was bloated and it didn't help me a lot. I mean, I was good for a little bit, and then your hand, you feel in the hand, you go out so quick, you know.
Yeah, especially for someone who's quick, you know.
Yeah,
you feel
it
sluggish.
takes, you know, you see, it's even though you think you know everything, you don't. You learn with experience. You learn, you know. Even though you know what works, sometimes you just do something that you think is gonna work this time, and it never works. Like this is something that I have. Like if you want to put on weight, it have to be at that weight for like a little longer period, you know, maybe 6 months, and then your body adapts.
Yeah.
If you just boost it up for a month, it doesn't work. You know, and actually it's against you because you're gonna be just a same strength, but you're gonna have no endurance. You're gonna be good for one round, maybe two, and then it's over.
Cool. Maybe good for a tournament, but definitely not for a super match.
I don't think it's good for anything because depends. If you're super strong, much stronger than the other guys, yes. But if you have one hard match, you're screwed.
Yeah. Definitely.
There's not enough time to recover.
For sure.
So yeah, I had a quick question. I think going back to the whole Hermes conversation, right?
Right.
And how he pushed Levon farther than anyone we've seen be able to push him, right? And before this, I feel like Devin kind of put his flag in the ground and said, you know, I'm the number 2, and everyone has to prove that, you know, they're better than me. In your eyes, in that matchup, how do you see that going? Hermes versus Devin, and Devin can match whatever Hermes is, like you said, size.
I would think Hermes is slight favorite against Devin like today. He has more. I believe he has more. Still have more hand and wrist, but it'd be interesting to see. I think Devin is he's accepting the idea of putting Hermes. He's been avoiding Hermes for a year or something. But I think it'll be a very interesting match. I mean, and so is Denis Siklenkov. He's right in the mix too. I think. I did a video about it, like people like I think he was saying like it was 75% and all this, and I'm like I think it's like at least 90% at least. I mean my personal opinion because I saw him training, and I think he related to the amount of weight he lifted when he was younger, and people don't understand as you get old. Like he's over 40 now. It's just he's lighter. He's like 30 pounds, 40 pounds lighter. But I think it's to his benefit, you know. It's better for him to be like that. And he's more technical. The areas that he was not strong, he's stronger now, I believe. His hand and wrist, back pressure, he uses more wisely now. So I think he's more dangerous now. And I've been seeing him training for the last couple of years, you know. I heard he took a whole month over there in Dubai just to adapt.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
Very
So he
smart.
really takes serious, and he got ways to do that, you know. He can accommodate, you know, his life for that, so it's very important. And I heard his next match is down Larry, you know,
That'd be a really
probably
good
by the end of summer. I'm not sure if the King of the Table or East versus West.
Gosh, that would be sick.
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
yeah. Especially after his performance yesterday. So it's coming.
Yeah, I think Devin just said if he beats Gennady, he accepts Siklenkov. Yeah,
That makes
that's
sense.
kind of
That
his,
makes sense.
his
That makes
qualifier. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For himself, I think he feels like I believe it was the video this morning or a couple of hours. He posts videos so often, but I know it was very very recent, and I think it was if he can beat Gennady, he feels like he's ready to to train for something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gennadi's he's gonna have his hands full.
Yeah.
With Gennady, I cannot say who's favorite. What do you guys think?
It's gonna be. I mean, I feel like you have a top fuel dragster, someone who's just gonna just slam as hard as he can, and Devin's gonna play his normal game. He's gonna do his tricks. He's gonna gain as much height as he can, and he's gonna just try to stop him right at the end of the table and bleed him out. And for someone who can be bleeded out is him.
Yeah, but don't forget, like Gennady has crazy stamina too. And one thing is the strength gap. If it's close, then Devin can win. If it's not close, then it's gonna be harder. But who knows? I mean, I think it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And Devin should get a little bit heavier for that.
Completely agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Devin, talking about how athletes are staying longer in the sport. Obviously, when he kind of made his resurgence over, not that he was gone, but let's say the past 5 years, his style has completely changed. He was way more accepting of going inside, and now he's really relying on this King's move. Have you had to see your style change at all, let's say over the past 5 to 10 years, because of just injury or maybe the smarts on the table or stuff like that?
Well, still in the works, But yeah, I mean, if you heard something, you always develop something else, so you can continue to pull. And yes, I mean, I try to continue to be explosive. Sometimes it bothers, certain areas. Sometimes you feel like your elbow, how it's gonna hold up. But definitely, I think Devin has a more dangerous style right now. He developed that. I mean, his hook is always really, really sticky and good. And we had crazy matches on the hook in the best. But yes, the open top row that he possesses in his arsenal, it's unbelievable. And his hand never been so strong like he is right now. I'm sure of that. Like, his hand and wrist never been so strong like he is right now. His arm, I think it might have been stronger, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or more, 12 years ago. But you don't need that much if you have that kind of hand, wrist, and possess that kind of technique. It's like Siplenko, the same thing. Like, he's just changed drastically his style. I mean, when John beat him in the past, it was like he always had that strong hand, but John was able to, apply some tricks in his hand and just stick his hand a little bit. And now I think he developed this King's move, or open top row, however you're gonna call it. It's very effective. I think Devin does it better, for sure. And longer leverage, he's more technical, so also a good match if it ever happened. It's supposed to happen by the end of the summer, like I said. But yes, I mean, as we get older, sometimes you have to develop something different. I didn't get there yet, but if I need it, why not? Sure.
Jay, anything?
We
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I think like kind of wrapping everything up. I think we talked before in terms of we have a booth at the Arnold and everything, and we'd love to have you stop by after the whole competition. I think outside of just us on the team having you there, having all the people that are at the event, being able to see one of the greatest arm wrestlers to ever do it would be awesome. Tell everybody that's gonna watch this video, you get an opportunity to kind of pull them at the table of some practice tables there and videos or whatever you guys want to do. We'll be more than happy to help with that.
Yes, guys, I'll be there.
Thank you. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again. I mean, for a lot of us, pretty much everyone in this room, we've because of you, we got into the sport and seeing you. And I mean, for what it's worth, you used to live like not even 5 minutes away from me, and I still couldn't believe it, And getting on seeing you for the first time getting into arm wrestling was really cool. Like, usually you don't meet Michael Jordan when you're trying to get into basketball, right? So being able to meet Marcio for your first practice on arm wrestling, it's really mind blowing. So thank you for everything you do for the sport. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you coming.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool. And yep, guys, just so you know, Marcio also has his own YouTube channel, which you've probably seen already, but make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment on all his stuff. He really puts really great stuff out there. You've seen his reviews and also his predictions for all the matches that come up, East versus West or King of the Table, and he's usually spot on. I mean, he can't foresee the future, but he's pretty good. He's pulled all these guys, so yeah, support his channel.
Thank you.
All right, like and subscribe.
See you guys later.
See you guys later. Bye.